You in this battle, man, I'll soon be dead. I'll glue your face to my dick so I can fuck with your head. I got metaphors coming through my pores. You probably never been in a battle before, so I hope you realize your mistake. There ain't no party, got some candles, this will be a piece of cake.
Folks, welcome to the Before Hours podcast, an internet radio phenomenon hosted by an occasional morning person. I ask the most interesting people I know about their sleep, their routine, life, love, stress, setbacks, and whatever else comes to mind. If you want to talk to us, you could do so. Email us, the Before Hours podcast at gmail.com. I'll read it on the air. But for now, we have friend, comedian, and former building mate, Camille Roberts.
Oh, yeah. We did overlap by like 4 days.
Yes.
And I was like, don't live here.
We met at a comedy club, and genius recognizes genius.
Sure.
So we started chit-chatting, and then I moved to a new building, and then one day you were in that building.
Yeah.
Different apartments, but same building.
Yeah. How is that working out for you?
It's well, I did not know this when I moved in. Apparently there is a family that lives above me.
Yeah.
Who used to be so you used to live above me too, but you didn't live with the family.
Oh, the one that was across. Yeah, no, I did not live with the family, but yeah, it's interesting. Yeah.
They have several children. And so my idea, I'm not a father. I'm not a brother. I'm an only child. That sounded like I was saying I'm not black. But so I don't know how kids work, but I thought that they would be asleep by midnight.
No, that family is awake.
Running around and moving furniture, and that's not a euphemism. I mean, literally moving couches across the rooms, it seems, at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Just crazy. And I'm a heavy sleeper, and they wake me up even.
It's very confusing, but I'm glad it's working.
Is that why you moved out of the building?
No, they were fine. I think I was just classic comedian living in a space meant for like one person with 3 people. And I was just like, I can't do this.
Oh, okay. Was it a Craigslist roommate situation?
One Craigslist roommate and then one like lifelong friend.
Okay.
So that was like an interesting dynamic. But
now, are you still friends with that friend?
I am. I really pride myself on that.
Yeah.
I've lived with like 2 very close friends and come out with my friendship undamaged.
Ooh.
So, yeah.
Do you think that you are easy to live with?
I think that I like really adapt to the lifestyle of the other person.
Okay.
So I'm not like a particularly neat or clean person, but I will do whatever they're doing.
Oh, like a chameleon.
Yeah.
That's a good way to be.
I think so. Yeah. Because then you don't want to be like more clean than the other person too, because then you're resentful. So I'm like, I'm just going to match whatever you're doing and then I won't get frustrated.
I think because I live with 2 guys now, Craigslist roommate situation, which is always a gamble, of course, but it just really worked out.
That's so good. Oh
because we clean every 3 weeks. I clean because one of us cleans every week.
Yeah. And
none of us have to remind the other person that it's their turn. And that's just it.
That's amazing. Now, who made that chart? This seems like something you might.
It was no. I think I lean more towards type A than type B, but I'm not chart level type A.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you may have implemented that system, but
I sort of accept where people are at and that they don't change.
Okay.
So because 99% of my roommate situations have been a Craigslist roommate situation, which is just like what happens when you do art in New York City, So if someone like leaves their dishes in the sink, I'm like, they leave their dishes in the sink and I haven't made it yet. So therefore I have to do their dishes and I'm not going to feel emotional about it.
Okay. That is the key. Like if you're going to do other people's work, you have to kind of like go or else, it'll drive you insane.
My thing is like, I'm going to put on my favorite music while I do this person's dishes. And that sort of tricks my brain into actually, I'm doing something fun right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And ideally, you're at least living with someone who sees that their dishes have been done and then feel embarrassed.
Yeah.
And behave differently moving forward.
Yeah.
But you'd be surprised. I mean, people.
I lived with some pretty dirty people, honestly.
Yeah.
And it's. I remember this one roommate. This is going to sound so stupid, but he was very attractive. So I'm like, how is he dirty?
Yeah. He probably never needed to like.
Just too busy being hot to like take care of himself ever.
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh, I definitely live with some interesting people in college. My one friend who I'm still good friends with, I don't know if this is good to say on air. Anyways, she pooped in the bathroom and then told me that she called because it clogged it. She told me that she called the like campus people and she didn't. So then like 2 days later, there was still her poop. And I was like, are you not embarrassed that this is going on? And then I was like, did you actually put in a ticket? Because I didn't know how long the tickets were supposed to take. The plumbing ones are actually only supposed to be like an hour. But I was like, I guess they're just not coming. And so I ended up calling a private plumber. And then I found out like days later, she was like, oh, I never put the ticket in.
Ugh.
Isn't that insane?
Dude, you got to handle your shit.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
God damn.
So that was the worst probably situation. Yeah.
So I also have a roommate poop situation.
Okay. Because we went there. We went to poop very quickly into this conversation.
Yeah. I
I'm
mean,
so
5
sorry.
minutes in, I think it's okay.
It is reasonable. Yeah. I didn't open with a poop joke.
No.
And this was a poop trauma. It's not a poop joke. So I think that's really different.
I have a poop trauma.
Okay.
So my roommate, actually the handsome guy, he would, so he was a big guy too. So he would take big boy shits.
Sure.
And
You're
then
trying to one up my trauma already.
I am. I'm one-upping you.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I know this happened to me. It's objectively worse.
Okay.
Mhm.
That's fair.
He would leave his big poops in the toilet and then go about his day. I don't know if he had ADHD or something, but he would, the flush the toilet part of the sequence would frequently evade him.
Okay. So sometimes he would and sometimes he would not.
I guess sometimes he would, but it was a frequent occurrence. If the seat was down, like the lid rather,
Oh my God.
if the lid was down, it was like Russian roulette when I would.
Okay, that's objective. Yeah, that is much, much worse.
And then I would be
That's neglect.
I'm like,
Yeah.
hey man. And he's like, oh, sorry. Was there issues with the plumbing again? I'm like, there's no issues with the plumbing.
Yeah.
There's none. By the way, even if there was, it's your responsibility as an adult to make sure that your poop goes down the toilet.
Also, it wouldn't just be unaltered poop if there was a plumbing issue. Like
Yes.
that is like, that's insane.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And that wasn't
I
even the
hope he
worst roommate
listens
I
to
had.
this.
Yeah, I hope he does too. Nice
And
guy.
my ex-roommate. Yeah, very nice. Very nice.
Maybe we should introduce them.
Yeah, perhaps.
That would be beautiful.
Yeah.
Is that your worst roommate story? The poop situation?
No, I have a much worse roommate story.
Are you comfortable sharing with the audience?
I guess so. You know how we all like have dormant personality disorders that come out in college? And so I'm sure I was a very difficult person, but I also live with like 3 people who are also really unwell. And they wrote a list of reasons they didn't want to live with me anymore and then kicked me out of our dorm room.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Can they do that?
Yeah, they can.
Damn.
Well, I think I could have stayed there if I,
Yeah, but why?
I wanted to, but
Yeah.
that would have been really awkward, I think. I mean, there was a lot more going on. I don't mean to sound like a victim of this situation. I think everyone was a victim.
Okay.
But that was definitely the most traumatic roommate situation that I've had.
What were some of the reasons?
I like forgot some details about their lives that I probably should have remembered. I was also really depressed. I had gone home. We were also like all on the soccer team together for GW. And so like there was a lot of drama with like who was playing and not playing. Yeah, I don't know. It's so hard to say. Like, I don't know how I was because, you know, when you're like really depressed, you're just like super not the best version of yourself. And then when you like combine that with like 3 other people going through things and the stress of college athletics.
Yeah.
And
well, I don't know
like,
about the stress
school.
of college athletics.
Oh,
but
sorry, not to like slip in. I'm D1, but yeah, it's like, yeah, it's just crazy. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, interesting. That
So we
sounds like
covered poop,
poop, and then rejection.
rejection.
Poop and rejection is the name of the episode. I don't even name the episodes, but I'm going to start now.
Okay, perfect. And if any of them happen to listen to this, I forgive you.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
They're probably like, "Fuck you." Well, yeah.
I do forgive the poop guy.
Okay.
Which is his name now. The guy
Sure.
that later broke into my apartment and stole my iPad, I don't forgive him.
Okay, that's fair. We're just putting it all out there. People know where they stand with us after this.
Dude, I would love to live alone. It's like,
Ugh.
it's literally, it's why I hope I don't run into the love of my life right now. You know what I mean?
That's so fair. Yeah.
Because I live with roommates and then I'm like, I gotta live with her.
Yeah.
You know, I want a period of living by myself.
I think that is my goal too. I mean, that's tough in New York, but I went from my last roommate situation. Now I'm living with my brother and I'm in a committed partnership, but we have discussed that I could live alone again before we live together.
Oh, that's interesting.
Which is the dream. Cause I've said so many times I want to live alone. Cause it really is. Have you ever lived alone?
Nope. I've lived with my parents and I've lived with roommates. I was an RA in college, so I had my own dorm room, but on a floor where I was responsible for. It's a weird system that they have in America. If anyone's listening outside of America, we have the 20-year-olds take care of the 18-year-olds. I don't know why that was. So I don't consider.
And some
that
of them are so irresponsible.
Some of them don't know how to do laundry.
Yeah. And like emotionally irresponsible. I was definitely like seeking counsel from different RAs and I was like, looking back, I'm like, this was a weird situation. We were all, not to bring up the athlete thing again, but all the athletes like lived together and were really emotionally unregulated. It was strange. Yeah, I did live alone once though, and it's totally worth it. Yeah, I had a studio in DC, and there were so many cockroaches. Like before I had an exterminator come like probably 20 times, you would like open up a drawer and you would see cockroaches like run over my silverware. And I still loved living alone. I was like, this is worth it.
It's better than other people.
yeah, exactly. Still better. They didn't make a fuss. They weren't out during the day. I didn't see them. I had to wash everything before I used it. And my girlfriend at the time would not come over, but I was like, perfect. This is my house. Me and the cockroaches. So
Camille and the cockroaches. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, what a testament to how much living alone would rule. Wow, so you moved to New York and got away from the cockroaches. That's interesting.
Away from the cockroaches, back to people.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So you would trade it all for living alone again?
Yeah. I prefer like mice.
I had a pet. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't have a pet mouse. I had a mouse in my apartment in Harlem and it didn't bother me at all.
Okay. You lived in Harlem.
I lived in Harlem. The first apartment I lived in Harlem was the one where I had the most roommates. I had 4 roommates. It's too many. 5 people.
How many bathrooms?
1 bathroom.
Okay. Yeah. That's like, no.
Terrible.
That's terrible.
Yeah. And crazy people too. That's the thing is like my roommates now are like a little loud sometimes. And I'm like, but they're not crazy. They're clean and not crazy. Yeah. So that's fine. They could be a little loud sometimes. I'm a heavy sleeper.
Yeah.
Sometimes my one roommate has morning sex. And there's nothing.
Is there a wall? Like,
we do share a wall.
Okay.
And I have to say, going on a bad date, going home, falling asleep alone and waking up to the sounds of lovemaking is very hard.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds tough.
Yeah. But other than that, you get used to that sound, the sound of your upstairs neighbors moving furniture at 3 a.m. You just get used to sounds.
White dog still live in the building?
I haven't noticed any dogs.
Okay. You're so blessed. This dog like hated my roommate and I. And like the owner like didn't, it would like, I mean, white dogs already terrible.
This white dogs?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, they all have bad personalities is what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to come out state a formal platform on this.
Okay.
But most of them have bad personalities.
Okay.
And this one was not an exception. And it would just like run down the stairs and like ferociously bark at me and my roommate. And she'd be like, she wouldn't even apologize. You know, people just don't apologize.
Was it a little dog?
How dare you? I was just kidding. It was a medium dog.
Medium white.
But I think that any dog, the smaller the white dog too, the more annoying.
Ooh.
And the more I expect. Yeah. Anyways, I should get off of this. I didn't realize how passionate I was.
If you're a white dog listening, I'm going to ask you to turn this off. Exactly.
White dogs know where they stand with me as well. So, yeah.
Yeah. There's a certain type of dog owner where it's like they feel no responsibility for how they're acting, like how the dog is acting. And what I find particularly annoying is a large aggressive dog off a leash And then the owner will act like I'm an asshole for being like, I don't know, crossing the street or even being like a little trepidatious about their aggressive big dog that could, I don't know, chew my throat out if it's so pleased.
Exactly. Because we don't know your dog. I'm sure your dog's nice. Maybe.
Yeah, they're like, oh, he's friendly. I'm like, oh, okay, stranger.
Yeah, I also don't want the dog like jump, like when people just like giggle about they're like, oh, he's just, like get down. Like I'm like, this is not funny.
Yeah. How about I jump on you and see how you like it?
Yeah.
Dog owner.
It'd be so awkward.
And
yeah.
Be like, oh, sorry. It's just how I get sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm just friendly.
I'm glad that we
I'm just saying hello.
Agree on this. Anyways, I'm sorry I sidetracked us. I'm glad the dog doesn't live at the building any longer.
Or I'm like very unobservant, or the dog likes me.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it might have been me. The dog could sense my immediate distrust of
white dogs.
Yeah, it's probably what it was. Mystery solved. Yeah.
And so you live with your brother.
Yes.
And you both live in New York.
Yeah,
that's exciting.
Yeah.
that makes it a little better, I think, because your roommate is like someone you're.
Yeah.
I don't know what is your relationship?
We've lived together before, you know, but as children, so that helps. Like you have some experience, you know what you're getting into, and I think it's a lot easier than living with a friend sometimes too, because it's easier to set like boundaries with family. Like, oh, I'm gonna go like stay at my girlfriend's for a little, or like I'm gonna go spend time in my room. I don't know. It's just easier to communicate with someone. I guess not everyone would say that about their family, but we're very close and we're good friends. So
I am an only child, so I'm always curious what people's relationships like with their siblings and how it works. Because I know some people are like good friends with their siblings, and some people are like, that's a person I used to live with as a child. Yeah,
that's so true. It could go either way, I suppose. I'm the youngest of 4. And we all just like happen to be very good friends. It's like that annoying, it's like I grew up and I learned that people don't like their siblings. I'm like, that's crazy. It's just because I don't know if we're like deeply emotionally compatible people, but we just love the same thing. So we like all grew up playing sports and playing piano and like just turning everything into a game. Like I don't remember like chatting very much, but it was just like we were always playing with each other. So we always just like look forward to being together and doing shit. I don't know. Yeah, it's really lovely. Not to rub that in your...
Yeah. I don't know. I like being an only child. I get the bulk of the inheritance.
Oh, true. Yeah. I didn't consider that.
Yeah. So that's nice. And also, I don't know. I think I'm sort of... because there's challenges that come with being the oldest and the youngest and the middle, I've heard. So I don't have to deal with any of those. But I do... I think I do well in solitude.
Okay.
But I also think that I was lonely a lot growing up too. So good and bad.
Yeah. That makes sense. Do you feel like, I just know people who are only children who feel like they were kind of treated as an adult sooner than people who had siblings, like kind of assumed more because you're just hanging out with like two. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know if you were raised by 2 parents, but like,
yes, I was. Oh, that's interesting. So they're like, yeah, we could just talk to you as if you're one of our friends.
Yeah. I've just heard that there's more expectations placed on maturity for only children.
Interesting. I don't think I felt that too much. I think my parents were conscious of, because I think you could be an only child and be weird. So I think they were like, let's make sure he's not spoiled. Like, let's make sure he's socialized.
Yeah.
All of that good stuff. So
yeah, only children who are also like homeschooled or only children who went to like extended Montessori style schooling. Yeah. I feel like have a higher likelihood of being weird, which isn't bad, but makes it tougher socially, I think.
Yeah,
to integrate. Yeah,
I do. Oh, I will say that like a pathology that I picked up from being an only child. That's too strong of a word, but
it's okay.
We
already said poop trauma, so I think
PT for short.
Yeah.
Moving forward, guys, if we say PT, we're referring to the aforementioned poop trauma,
right? Because we talk about it so much, we do need to
fecal catastrophe.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
The FCPT. Okay. Anyways, your pathology.
I do think that sometimes if I don't get, and I'm not an introvert, Actually, I think I lean towards extroversion, but if I'm around people too much, it's a little too much for me, you know? So like I've never lived with a partner before.
Yeah.
And be interesting to see what that experience would be like, because the tension between me and my last girlfriend was she wanted to hang out more than I did. And it wasn't because it was only because I'm like, no, I need to be by myself.
In case she's listening.
In case she's not listening. I don't think she is.
Yeah. I doubt any of my people are listening that I mentioned before. So feels anonymous, but it is online forever. So it's one of those things. Yeah, that's interesting. I think that's one of those like major compatibility issues where you can't really, especially if one person is taking it personally. Like I've definitely been with people where I want much more alone time, and because they love quality time, it's hard for them to like not interpret that as me just wanting alone time. So yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Pathology. Yeah.
What are some pathologies you have from being the youngest?
I think I am pretty spoiled, honestly.
Okay.
So I don't have like, I always have a sense of like everything's going to be okay. And which I feel very fortunate, but like I feel like I have a lot of people in my corner who would dig me out of any situation.
Yeah.
Which is probably not the smartest way to live. A ton of perks. Like my brother works for an airline, so I can like fly places for free. My other brother, they're all very smart, but my other brother's like a genius, and he always like helped me with school stuff. My sister's like also super smart and like would literally, I feel like, do anything for me. So yeah, maybe some learned helplessness.
Oh yeah.
But I'm like independent, but I just mean like, I think being the youngest, when you have a lot of people looking out for you, kind of, it gives you a sense of like, maybe not putting safety things in place for yourself, and just be like, it'll work out because it always does, kind of thing. Yeah.
I think that I was like very optimistic in a way that the only thing that pulled me out of it was getting older. Getting older will pull you out of optimism a little bit.
Yeah.
Because then like the more, I hurt my back the other day. I'm like, oh fuck.
No, I'm so sorry. This year has been particularly depressing. I feel like across the board. Like, I feel like people feel more depressed, like are losing their optimism. I mean, I'm just trying to say you're not special by hurting your back. I just feel like this holiday season, this like obviously this time, like it just has like kind of a real weight to it. I feel like.
Ooh, interesting.
We don't need to go there in this conversation.
No. I think I always wonder if that feeling is sort of amplified by social media, because it's not cool to be like, I'm happy. You know, like no one wants to read a tweet like that. So we only, we only read like the extremes. I had a nice Christmas.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, not the flex.
Oh my gosh, amazing.
I feel like the older I get though, the more I actually like Christmas.
Yeah.
Because I liked it like as a little boy with all the presents and stuff. But now I'm just like, oh wow, no work, and I get to hang out with my family, and I'll allow myself to have one, possibly two pieces of pie. And that is okay. I like that perspective. I feel like the holidays, it's not that I didn't have like a good Christmas. I just feel like they get sadder every year. Like the nostalgia element really overpowers the impending joy. For me. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Are you uncomfortable with nostalgia?
Yeah, I think so. Now that we're talking about this, because in all respects, everything went really well, and I spent a lot of quality time with family. And yeah, everyone's like doing well. So yeah, I think it's just that it's just really was very pointed this year. Like just poignant. Is that the word I'm looking for?
I'm not sure.
Is that how you say that?
I have no idea.
Poignant. Oh, yes.
It's like
poignant.
Worcestershire sauce, where you just say it real quick.
Yeah. Like in my mind, that whole like the sentence before it, I was like, I'm going to say that word. I changed it to pointed because I was like, I'm going to say the word wrong. And now here I am just over explaining that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
I hope everyone learned something.
I'm actually pretty famous for like, have you ever watched Trailer Park Boys?
I think I know the premise.
Yeah, it's the rednecks that live in Canada and the trailer park. And the one guy, Ricky, he always uses like words and idioms incorrectly. And I feel like I'm doing that constantly.
Yeah.
Like he says water under the fridge.
Oh.
And I'm always nervous that I'm going to say that in mixed company and people are going to be like, oh, this guy's an idiot.
I think that like I spend so much time alone and I spend so much more time reading than I do actually like speaking aloud to people.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually, people don't believe this, but a side effect of one of my medications is actually like vocabulary issues and like switching words and like spelling issues.
Mm-hmm.
It's called like word finding. And so I feel like over the years, because I just mostly read things and I have those issues, I'm so afraid to speak out loud sometimes, which is not good for like a stand-up comedian to be like, I'm probably saying everything wrong. Cause it feels so embarrassing to say something wrong. And I think that's like, just probably my own elitism getting in the way, but
yeah, it's the issue I run into. I think somewhat related is I get like mush mouth sometimes. And so sometimes like a punchline will just be ruined because I just like say it incorrectly or say it too fast. And then you just kind of have to let that one go.
Yeah. You're just like, I'm just gonna, cause I truly feel in comedy, like my mindset with something like that is just moving past anything that doesn't go well and just continuing to project a sense of confidence. So yeah, like anytime I like whatever over a word, I'm just like, yep, that was on purpose. But the clearly wasn't.
For me, I feel like a great moment in me growing as a comedian is when I would fuck up or something wouldn't work, and then it just wouldn't bother me that much.
Yeah,
because when I was very new, if I fucked up a punchline, I'd be like, you guys don't think I'm funny. And then like, okay, let's see how the next 8 minutes go now.
Exactly. Or like you'd have to call attention to it and like, do something self-deprecating. Or I used to do something where I would kind of carry that mistake through the rest of the set, like as a bit, which is like always going to get a laugh, but it's like, it's protecting yourself a little bit. Like, and it's not, at some level, it's not clever.
Yeah. It's always, with experience, you like learn, how much to call attention to something that was weird. I remember the other end of that spectrum was I saw a comedian one time get on stage, and as he was walking on stage, he comically slipped. Yeah. Like he slipped and fell in such a way that we thought it was like part of the act.
Oh my God.
Like a pratfall.
Like a banana peel.
Like he stepped on a banana peel and he was okay.
Yeah.
Got up immediately and went, oh, okay, so I'm originally from Japan.
Oh, that's funny.
And then just went into without addressing it at all.
I love that.
I liked, what's the word I'm looking for? Like the stoicism of that.
Yeah.
But I'm like, you do sort of have to address that you just ate it in front of all of us.
Yeah. Unless it is like a clowning thing but it wasn't intentional.
It wasn't. He really did. Because I was like, was that
like a bit?
Because I was trying to figure out, dude, like how did that tie in? He was like, oh no, I fell. And I'm like, you didn't bring it up?
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, people fall.
Yeah, that's awesome. I did fall one time coming on stage to do an hour, but it wasn't like a full on fall. I tripped over a wire, I think. And I did address it, but I feel like tastefully.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely don't think I could have just gone up and started my set without making fun of myself.
I saw a guy, because you could definitely go too far in the other direction. There was a guy that did a joke that was like, it was kind of like, women. Like that was the punchline of the joke. And it was just fine. It was fine. And no one was mad. No one was mad.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm not sexist.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, you just gotta go into whatever you're doing. You can't do like an edgy joke and be like, is everyone mad at me?
Yeah. No, I really respect people who just very much own, because I think it is tough to, especially if you're doing something ironic, to really like own that first 75% of the set where like people aren't sure and then get people to come around on it. Like that always ultimately is like funnier and makes more of an emphasis.
You got to commit to the bit.
For sure. Yeah. Thankfully, I do none of that character work in my acts, so I don't have to deal with that awkwardness.
Yeah, I don't do too much alty stuff except when I say the Gettysburg Address in its entirety. On
Oh,
stage.
yeah.
I do that, which is very weird. But
I enjoy it. I feel like I learn something every time I watch you perform. So
that's
it's more
so
than
nice.
I can say for a lot of comedy.
Yeah.
Or my own.
I like watching you on stage because you're very a stream of consciousness, I feel like. And I don't know how much of it is stream of consciousness and how much of it is written, but it comes across as purely stream of consciousness.
Thank you. That means a lot. I do strive for that. Some of it definitely is. And I feel like some of the written stuff is from stream of consciousness of like telling the jokes other times. So I'm glad it comes across that way. Because that can be hard to manufacture for sure.
Yeah.
Like consistently.
Yeah. And you're one of the people that I feel like I don't hear repeat themselves as often as I hear other people repeat themselves. And this is coming from someone that repeats themselves a lot on stage.
Yeah. It's not like anything other than I just get so bored of myself because I actually don't think my jokes are very interesting. Like a lot of it is I mean, like, I don't want to say that. Like, I think what I'm saying is ultimately interesting. But I just get tired of myself saying, especially the stuff that I wrote that was more like off the cuff or like, I don't want to say that too many times because then it doesn't feel good anymore. So I end up writing a lot, but none of it's very polished, but like, you know, it comes across better for me when I'm doing new stuff more often.
And sometimes the audience can tell. They could tell like, oh, this is like they're speaking from the heart, and we're always speaking from the heart. But
for sure.
I mean, I go up there with a piece of paper and I look at it and I look at them and I shake my head and I crumble it and I throw it behind me and go, I'm just going to speak from the heart. Dating in New York is hard. That's what I do.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. But if I know it's going to come every time I have a new bit and I'm like, this is fresh and I can do it. I'm like, eventually I'm going to say it and something about my energy. The audience is going to look at me and be like, why did you write this down, memorize it, and then say it to us?
I know. Sometimes the magic comes back, maybe even a year or two later, but often it's just gone. I think also having social media and having to edit my jokes like and hear them over and over again totally ruins them for me. Like once I put a joke online, it's very hard for me to tell it again. Not that I don't, like I certainly do tell them again, but like it takes the magic out. I don't know. I
feel bad for the comedians that are just starting now because I think there's a lot of pressure to put stuff on Instagram right away, captioned it,
for
hashtags, all that stuff. Because I mean, I did my first open mic in May and then didn't do my first bar show until the following December. And then for years after that, I was anonymous. Like the only people that heard my jokes were like the people that came to these weird bar shows in New York or other comedians.
Yes, I think that helps so much. Like definitely until TikTok, I didn't really put any of my jokes online. And I just have so much. So I didn't feel guilty doing, the same sets and actually like working out material. But now it feels like I get really excited about a joke. I know I'm going to lose momentum on it. So I'll like dump it online. And then, it doesn't feel as exciting or like, I mean, not that I have a large fan base by any means, but I do feel like, when people come to my show who like me online, I want them to see new stuff. Like I want them to see things they haven't before. And the reality is that some of those jokes that I post online, because they're the punchiest, are going to be like my openers or my closers, you know? So I don't know. It loses a little bit of its organicness to me. Manufactured organicness.
I love that. Dude, if we didn't already settle on poop trauma as the name of the episode, manufactured organicness is
organicness a word?
Well, you know how like Shakespeare invented new words?
Oh, true. He just said, okay.
And we're modern day Shakespeare?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So before you were a comedian, you were a college athlete.
Yes.
D1, which stands for Division 1, which is the best division, I understand.
The best one.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I played soccer. I had a lot of injuries in college though. So it was kind of and then I ultimately left the team because I had like a series of concussions and I just didn't want to I played center back. So it's a lot of heading, a lot of like going up for headers and people elbowing you in the head and stuff. So I kind of just decided, I was like, this isn't worth it. And so I quit soccer junior year, halfway through. I joined the band, tried a bunch of other things. And then the following fall, I found stand-up in 2016. So
nice.
Yeah.
That's when I started too. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's when all the greats were starting.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I did the same thing. I did a set that fall and then like not again until February 2017. And then I didn't really start, I feel like, until like March.
Oh, I'm sorry. I did my first I did open mics like religiously.
Oh.
I'm saying it wasn't until December.
I see. Yeah.
Which I feel like it moves faster now.
Yeah.
Or maybe I've always been shitty at networking. That might have been.
Oh my God, I'm so bad.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah. I understand now what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
You had a lot of time, protected time where you weren't doing like, yeah. I think also the scene here is so different though. So like because you started in New York.
Yes.
Yeah. So like in DC, you kind of start doing bar shows and showcases immediately. There are true open mics, but like truly not a lot of sign up open mics.
Okay.
So I feel like then when I started, I was just doing book shows.
Okay.
Right away, which was helpful. But
oh, that sounds amazing.
yeah. Oh my God, it's lovely. Yeah. Yeah. I was in for a rude awakening, moving to New York 5 years later.
My friends down south were like, yeah, you get 20 minutes like right away. You
Yeah.
can just find a room where with an audience.
Yeah.
You know, my first bar show was like, it was the day after Christmas. And I think that's why I got booked for it, because a lot of people were out of town. But I got the message on Christmas Eve and I was like, I will wake up early the day after Christmas and take the train back to New York to do this bar show.
Oh my God.
In front of, I want to say 4 confused tourists.
Yes, probably.
And I did very bad material. I have like nothing from my first year of doing stand-up. Like it was literally all garbage.
I think that's fine. You got to find your voice. Like I've thrown out so much from the first like 3 years of doing stand-up. Just, yeah. Oh, that's so exciting. Yeah. I feel like it's just different. Like in DC, once you kind of, because there's less comedians, sorry, I bumped this. It's just a little more curated. So you can go out once you're known in DC, you can go do like 3 10 to 15 minute sets a night. Like, with some night, you know, like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, easily, and they're all so close together and in front of packed audiences.
Oh my God, that sounds amazing.
Like I think it's like one of the best cities for a comedian starting out, just because of the like access to stage time, and it's like a big enough city that you have like good resources. So that's my plug if you're listening to this.
Yeah, if you want to do stand-up comedy, move to Washington, D.C.
Yeah. And then don't move to New York too late so you feel like you're starting over 5 years into your career.
Is that what it felt like?
Oh my God, yeah. Because I've been here like 2 years now, and I feel like, and the first year I lived in the Bronx, so I was just like wasn't really, I guess maybe coming up on like 2.5 years. But I have been doing stand-up like 5 years. I moved here and it like literally was like starting over, because I basically like my network was people who moved from DC to New York. And they're all actually doing really well, the other people. So I had them. But then it was literally like, yeah, I just had to go to mics and meet people and produce shows, which I ended up really liking. But I definitely never had to do that before.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to really like carve out your corner here, I feel like.
Yeah, and I'm awful at producing shows, awful at marketing. I'm just getting better at marketing myself.
That's good.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you got to do it. But yeah, it's when I
hate being complimentary about myself. It feels gross. And that's actually which is stupid, because I do feel worthy enough that people should pay money to hear me talk.
Right.
So
yeah.
I should just
because why else are you doing
exactly.
It? Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
It's so tough.
Yeah, I mean, I'm comfortable with saying I'm funny, but then when I have to go like I've performed here and here and there, and here are my accolades. Yeah.
Ugh, it's so terrible.
We're gonna get over that, I think.
Maybe we will. Yeah, whenever I promote for something like big, I have a couple bigger things coming up, and whenever I promote, I have to be self-deprecating and I have to say something like funny about myself, or like I always have to make fun of myself. And one of my friends, Caitlin, like a couple years ago, she was like, Camille, irony is out. Like, like people don't want to see like that type of irony anymore. They just want like people to be like, hey, I worked really hard on this and I'd love for you to come. Like people actually respond to that sincerity more than self-deprecation.
And I think people like, because there's so many like comedy nerds now, people that listen to about comedy on podcasts, that they understand the struggle. And that things are a work in progress, and they like seeing the product, knowing that it's that. You know what I mean? So you could be like, I worked hard on this. They're like, okay, I'll watch it,
Right. I know. Okay. I'm going to try to be better. I've tried to be better about like, at least in like retrospective, like, if I have a photo from a show or something that went really well, being like, this went really well. Like, I don't even say like, I'm great. Like, but just saying I'm thankful and like, I had a good experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the most I can do right now.
No,
working on
100%. And how are you with taking compliments?
Oh, very bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not good.
I do this thing now where if someone says like, you had a good set, I'll go, thank you. I'm very talented. Like I almost lean into the other direction.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it's still like me being a silly goose, but also accepting the compliment.
Yeah, that's really good. I might have to steal that, and then people will know I stole it from this. Joke stealing is accepting compliments. Yeah, I think that compliments really mean a lot to me, perhaps like too much. So, or they mean so much to me in the moment, and then it's very thin, like it dissipates, and then I'm like, actually, it was terrible, But I think because they're so emotionally loaded for me in the moment, I don't know how to process it or like properly like thank someone, I think. Yeah. Especially if I'm talking about something more sincere and someone comes up and talks to me about something sincere related to what I talked about or like tells me like this meant something to me because of this. And I want like that feels so good to me because rarely, do I have an opportunity for like my art to do something like that. But yeah, it's overwhelming to me. I don't know. I'm bad at it, as you'd expect. Yeah.
So here comes the big question from the podcast.
Okay.
And I want you to think about this.
Okay.
Are you a morning person or a night person?
So I haven't listened to other people's answers on this. I'm afraid that people will have already said my answer, but I actually thought about this and I talked to my girlfriend about it. And we decided that I'm like decidedly both. So between like 7 and 10 a.m. And then after 10 p.m., I'm like a happy, productive, great person. And then between 10 a.m. and 10 p.m., I take like 3 naps and I get like wildly depressed. But truly like, when I'm really depressed in the middle of the day, I'm like, I know I'm going to feel amazing later and tomorrow morning. So like I can get through this.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's my answer.
That's a fascinating. No one's ever given that answer before.
Thank God. Okay.
Yeah.
At least I'm original.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I will say few people are afternoon people.
That's true.
No one thrives in the middle of the day.
Clinically, they've proven that that's not set up for success.
Especially now where it's fucking dark at 4:15 in the afternoon. And you're like, the whole day is gone.
I just get immediately sad, like once the sun goes down. And then there's a lot of time before 10 p.m. So yeah, it's rough.
Yeah.
What about you?
I think if I didn't do comedy, I would be a morning person.
Oh.
But I do comedy, so I can't
That's
be.
Fair.
And because I love my sleep. This is a new development in my life, which I don't know how I feel about, is that now I wake up before the alarm.
Oh.
After sleeping, and I quit my day job a few months ago. So for the first time, that's like, I have enough time to be able to do that. But I get like more than 8, less than 9 hours of sleep.
Okay.
And then I wake up naturally.
Oh.
But I fell asleep late last night because my roommates were having a party, which is fine. But I woke up having slept like 6.5 hours, which is not enough sleep.
Yeah. But you're so trained to get up at that time.
Trained to wake up after 8 a.m., but before 9 a.m., maybe a little after 9 a.m. And so I set my alarm for 10, knowing that would give me 7 hours of sleep. And then I woke up like around 9 and I was like, I got 6.5 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
Because it used to be that if I didn't set an alarm, I would sleep for 12 or 13 hours, which is too much sleep.
Do you have caffeine when you get up?
Huh?
Do you have caffeine usually when you get up?
So this is a new development. I wonder if they're related. Is that I used to be caffeine like make it as soon as my eyes are open.
Yeah.
And then Dr. Andrew Huberman, bro science.
Okay.
He said that you should wait an hour.
Yeah,
an hour
so
and
you
a half.
naturally wake up or whatever.
And so I've been doing that.
Yeah.
And I wonder if the two things are related.
I just found that because I do try to delay it a little bit, but it's just like what really gets me out of bed in the morning. But I don't know. I think that my body still just naturally wakes up anticipating the caffeine at 7:30.
Oh, okay.
And so I'll delay, but I wake up and it's like, where's the caffeine? Mm-hmm. So I don't know if that's what's going on for you.
I do wake up craving the coffee.
Yeah.
And then, but I have this routine that I do that puts it off. So I'm like, no, you'll have the coffee when it's time to have the coffee.
Sure.
And an hour and a half, it's fine. If I wait longer than that, I will get a headache because yes, I am addicted to coffee. Mm-hmm. I'm addicted to caffeine.
As we all are. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Not all of us.
Oh,
have you met these non-caffeine people?
I have, but yeah. Who are they really? I feel like most comedians, because I think that we're all a little on the ADHD spectrum or of neurodivergence, or I don't want to speak to this and I don't want to self-diagnose or diagnose a mass of people. Yeah. But I feel like creative people have found caffeine to be just such a natural way of actually being able to focus on what you're doing.
Yeah.
Otherwise it's just a chaotic mess.
Mm-hmm.
And artists are the coolest people to talk to. So
yeah. The coffee, I think more than any, because I've thought about quitting caffeine because I'm it's one of those, it's like cigarettes. They're it doesn't make you calmer. You feel more anxious having not had the cigarette.
Yes.
That thing. So I think coffee is the same thing. It doesn't wake you up. It's just that you get tired if you don't have it. So if you go through a period where you just don't drink coffee, but I didn't drink coffee for a whole month and I was very sad the whole time.
Yes. I think it's going to take too long to get out of our systems. Mm-hmm. We're about the same age, right? Mm-hmm. And we've been drinking coffee. How long? I've been drinking coffee 12 years.
Ooh.
It's not gonna, that's just for life now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's fine because listen, I am addicted to it, but no one drives their car into a tree because they drank too much coffee.
There you go.
Yeah. So it's fine. Let yourself be addicted to something that's not that bad.
Yeah. Lovely. Agreed.
Do you have a vice?
Ooh. Procrastination.
Oh, I'm a big procrastinator. Yeah.
Aided by needing my conditions to be optimal at all. So I can't start my work until I'm on the couch in this position and my tea is hot. Oh no, my tea's not hot. I have to reheat my tea. There has to be the right amount of ambient noise. So just really chronic avoidance procrastination that I tell myself I just don't have the right conditions to succeed.
Yeah. You're I can't start doing work until it's 5:15.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to take a 4-minute nap.
Yeah.
And then I'll be ready to do my work.
What I noticed that I do is because I'm married to my iPhone reminders because I just will forget. I'll forget things.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had friends make fun of me because they're we're meeting for dinner tomorrow. I'm yeah. And I'm literally putting it in my calendar.
Yeah.
They're you can't remember tomorrow. I'm
maybe not.
Possibly not. Yeah. And even things shave, because I shave every other day. So I have literally shave in my calendar.
I think that's smart. It's personal accountability too, and you feel like you can check more things.
But also you could go into the other direction where it's if I move the reminder to 4, 12, 24 hours from now, that's sort of I did something, and it's actually you didn't do anything, Bobby. And you didn't do anything.
Actually, that's true. I've been putting off a task like that. I've been snoozing it a day at a time. Yeah. That's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People are having fun outside.
I know. Yeah.
I like the studio. There's a lot of there's a barbershop. Do you want to get our haircuts after this?
I absolutely do, because I have a show coming up and I need to like, I don't really know. I get the same exact haircut every time, or that I tell them the same thing and they do something different every time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And in this neighborhood, sometimes I go to a Dominican barbershop and they make my hair too Dominican. But I don't know how to say make it less Dominican.
Less Dominican. I get that, because sometimes like people do this line a little harsher. Like I'm kind of like overall going for boy from Love Actually. So I want it to be the guy in Game of Thrones. Jojen.
Oh, okay.
And so it's like fluffy here and then like close here, but not like a fade, you know?
Yeah.
So it definitely depends on where I go, what it looks like. So we'll try this place out.
I'm new to having like longer hair. I shaved my hair from the time I was 15 until like a few months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I like it better this way. But you do have to get your hair cut more often.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's like more expensive to have better hair.
I probably get my hair cut every like 5 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's definitely, it's too long right now. So I hear what you're saying. I'll get a haircut. It's definitely too long.
Yeah. You know, but just before you come on the podcast next time.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I know. I should have thought about that.
So do you have a morning routine?
Morning routine. Yeah, I mean, nothing extensive, really. No, it's not going to be interesting to say. I get up and then at some point I have coffee. I have to eat breakfast or I'm like a miserable person. So breakfast person, and yeah, just need to have a warm beverage. And then I work on my actual job for a little bit. And then I try to work on creative stuff before I get depressed. Then I don't do anything. That's it. Yeah. That's my morning routine.
No, that's beautiful. First of all, you know what I love is because when I asked you if you're a morning or night person, you said, I don't know if someone has said this before. And then you gave me an answer that no one said before.
Yeah.
But everyone says as they're describing their morning routine that it's not going to be interesting to anybody.
Oh, okay. Okay. So I am boring. Well, yeah, I wish that
that's how everyone,
yeah.
Because the reason I created this podcast is because I ask people that all the time because I'm interested in that, because I think it says a lot about a person. And
great.
yeah. But it is very funny that you and multiple guests have been like, I don't think this will go anywhere.
Well, yeah, because I'm just like, I want to be the type of person who's like, I get up and I work out and then I have like a smoothie.
I put an asterisk next to those people. I think they're hiding something.
They get up
at 5 a.m. and they go to the gym. What's happening?
Yeah.
Dude, I did that for like a month.
Yeah.
And it was not sustainable.
Yeah. I mean, you feel good. I did this thing that my girlfriend saw on TikTok called Delusion Day, where you do all these things that like seem like delusions to you. So like going to the gym before 6 a.m. or like, you know, cooking every meal and I could do it for one day and that's it. But I also I used to work out, you know, because I was a D1 athlete, you know,
D1
very
athlete, Camille Roberts.
Seriously, I would get up before classes. I had to get up at 5:40 to catch the shuttle to work out and then practice, run, lift. Didn't get back to class till 11. So it's years of that much working out. And since then, I've never been able to establish a routine.
Really?
Yeah.
So what's your relationship like to exercise now?
Twice a week, I lift for 15 minutes. Very light weights. And I try to do cardio once a week.
Ooh.
And then I walk places.
You do a lot of walking in New York.
Yes. So I think I just naturally stay a little fit from walking.
That's how I justify not doing cardio myself. I'm like, I'm in New York. I'm walking all the time.
Yeah. Well, you've been going to the gym a lot, right?
I go to the gym a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost like, to me, it's like a game at this point. I've even been bulking and cutting as if I'm a bodybuilder.
Yes.
I'm on a caloric surplus now, folks.
Oh, okay.
Yes, but I'm a tiny man. So that means I'm eating 2,200 calories a day.
I definitely eat that much
a
day. Yeah.
Dude, I was watching this video and this guy was like, yeah, I'm eating it's pretty rough. I'm eating at a calorie deficit right now, only 3,500 calories. And I'm like, oh.
Oh my
I
God.
get to eat
Yeah.
that much. I've been trying this joke on stages. I want to be taller, and it's not so I could get more girls. It's so I could eat more food.
Yeah. That's so fair. You only eat 2,200 calories a day.
And I'm bulking.
Oh my God.
I don't know what it is.
I don't even know.
I think my body naturally, for whatever reason, wants to put all the food in my abdomen.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
And when I was overweight, I really did have the Homer Simpson thing going on.
Got it. Okay.
Where I looked like a pregnant man.
Okay.
And I wasn't.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. I haven't counted a calorie in a long time, but I should probably.
Because it sounds like what your relationship to exercise is that it was like a destination pursuit. It was like, I have to be good at soccer.
Yeah.
And here's the things that I have to do to make sure that my body is good to be ready.
Yes, definitely. And we were like, it was just very like protein heavy. I probably was about 25 pounds more, but just in muscle of what I am right now. So it was just like protein, working out. Like, exactly. Like I didn't really, weight or other factors weren't involved in like that other than, soccer. So now I don't have soccer. So why would I do that?
But even going to the gym twice a week is like more than what most people do.
Yeah. I don't know. If you saw like literally my workouts are between 12 and 15 minutes. I do like 4 exercises 3 times. And then I'm like, bye. I think the people at Blank are confused every time. They're like, barely sweating. Yeah. I'm just like, all right, bye.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But that's better than being there for an hour and looking at your phone for 45 minutes.
That's true. I don't do that. I'm very efficient. I keep my phone in the locker and then just go. Yeah.
You work out without music?
Yeah.
So you just have your thoughts clinking around in your head while you're exercising?
Yeah. Well, I have a lot of compulsive counting things I have to do at all times. So it's just easier if I don't also have music playing.
Is that related to the exercise?
Maybe like aggravated by anxiety around exercise, but it's like
are you counting throughout your...
I don't think we have enough time to fully explain the compulsions, but yes, but it's a lot of stuff I need to keep track of. Like the amount of water I'm sipping and the increments and the number of sips and the number of reps. And like, if I do the wrong reps on a side, I have to like double and then back and then do both sides. So there's a lot to keep track of. So it's just better if there's no music. Oh yeah. You can't have another element of... Yeah. Cause then I'll be like, did I do anything? And I have to start over. Dude, it's funny you said that because I was just joking. My friend Elia has OCD. Yeah. And that's OCD, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So because he's like, I'm not an exercise guy. And I'm like, you would love exercise. It's counting. It really you love counting. I know. I feel bad I have such boring compulsions. They're like such stereotypical OCD. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's very fun. Actually, one time I did meet someone with OCD that did the hand washing thing. And I'm like, oh, the classic. Like, yeah, no, truly. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because I know so many, it's interesting. I'm sure I know tons of people that have OCD, but because we're in comedy and you're supposed to talk about yourself. Yeah. So I have this thing in my head. I'm like, it's not that comedians are more likely to have it. It's that they're more likely to talk about it publicly. Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it does seem there are a lot. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But that goes back to your theory that comedians verge neurodivergent. I think that they do because, but maybe not. I don't know. Yeah. I think that here's my theory on it is that if your willingness to make all the sacrifices that you have to sacrifice to do comedy, that's a sign that you might be neurodivergent. Yeah, that's so true. You know what I mean? Yeah, just that you find yourself in this field is probably, Like, I'll live with roommates in my 30s. I don't care. I'll be surrounded by cockroaches. I don't. Yeah, exactly. I have things I need to pursue my art and live alone. Yeah, that's fair. Nice. Yeah. Hell yeah. Well, I commend you on the exercising. Oh, thank you. I'm doing my best. Yeah, and I like that. It seems like you're at maintenance. Yes, and I admire that because I'm a like stereotypical boy. I want to get bigger. I always want to get bigger and stronger. And somebody asked me, when will I know that I'm big and strong enough? And I didn't have an answer for them. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you think on that. Yeah. But I won't take any vitamin S. I won't do it. Any vitamins? Vitamin S meaning steroids. Oh, I didn't even know. Didn't want to say steroids because of the algorithm. Oh, Oh, well, then you said it. I'm so sorry. I didn't know. Yeah, I'm actually anti-vitamins in general.
Really?
Not all vitamins, but do your research, because I've taken vitamins because I was like, oh, this will help with this condition I have. And they've made me really sick because it's just, they're unregulated. Like I was taking like B12 and something else. It gave me like a lot of stomach problems. And I don't mean to okay, sorry. Let me take it back. I'm not anti-vitamins.
By the way.
I'm just, both physicians.
Please take medical
I sort of have
advice
a
from this.
background in no, just kidding. But just, they're not all, just do your research because it's unregulated. And it's crazy that we just are like, let's try this, but it's all stuff you're putting in your body. Some of it reacts with mental health drugs. I was taking a vitamin that I didn't realize was absorbing my mood stabilizer for a while. So it's just scary. You have to really do your research. That's all.
You're
That's
like,
all
I have
say.
more vitamin D, but I am sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. I started taking vitamin D because the doctor told me to. Redheads are known for their vitamin D deficiencies.
Sure.
And I stopped taking it because I was like, let's see what happens. So a year from now, I'm going to go to a doctor and see if I still have a vitamin D deficiency.
Interesting.
Because if I don't have to take vitamin D pills anymore, that would save me about $10 a month.
Yeah.
Professional
Those
comedian,
things
folks.
add up.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So Camille, if people want to DM you, possibly ask for medical advice, how can they do so?
Oh, wow. My Instagram and TikTok are at Camille Roberts Verified, and that's all in the handle.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So,
yeah, guys, definitely follow Camille. You're going to be back on. This is a great conversation. I feel like we just scratched the surface.
Yes, absolutely. I had a great time. Thank you.
Yes. And guys, remember, early to bed, early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. I'm just playing night owls. You know I love you.
Thank you.